Welcome back to the Truvix podcast, where we talk with people in real estate, business, and entrepreneurship who are building something real and creating impact in their industries. Today's guest is Zetria Okudjeto with Ascend Commercial Real Estate here in the Dallas-Fort Worth market. Now, Zetria specializes in commercial tenant representation and retail real estate. Now, what makes her story interesting is that she didn't come from a traditional commercial real estate pipeline. She started in hospitality, became a special education teacher, then transitioned into commercial real estate and built her business through networking, referrals, and relationships. Zetria, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Good deal. Now, Zetria, take us back 10 years, waiting tables, special needs teacher, master's in 2012, then jumping into the commercial real estate. Now, what flipped the switch to join your family's industry, who we talked about, appraisals, realtors, but go into commercial instead of residential?
I would say that, I guess, sales has always been a part of me. I always have working in sales and being responsible for my own income. So I knew that teaching wasn't going to last forever, but I wanted to have it on my resume and learn the people skills. So that's what drew me in, and then kind of used my degree a little bit. But I went into commercial because I knew that particular industry was not, I didn't see anybody that looked like me in that industry, in commercial. So I wanted to tap into that. I read about it before I got into it. I researched about CCIM. I knew that's the route that I wanted to take. So I knew that starting in commercial would be the route to go versus residential.
Okay. So like I said, you have a family full of appraisals and agents. Right?
Yeah.
Now, did they give you any edge, or was it a sink or swim?
I think it was more so a sink or swim, yeah, because they were all residential and they were proud of me for passing my test. But once they found out that I wasn't going to do residential, I was going straight to commercial. Everybody was shocked. They were very shocked and was like, "Are you sure?" And I was like, "Yeah."
Nah, because they say residential is a little bit easier than commercial.
I guess, but I'm just quicker, not that. I guess. Yeah, all that emotions with, with the home and, all of that. I just wasn't, that wasn't me. I'm a little bit more transactional. I want to get the deal done. I want to work with business owners because I'm an entrepreneur. So it worked hand in hand.
Okay. Now, what did, waiting tables teach you about people and sales that help you today in CRE?
I think I learned a lot how to deal with people, confrontations, different seasons, different, if it's sunny outside, if it's raining outside, people come in with different emotions. People act different when they're with their families and when they're not. I had regulars. So just being able to understand people at different points in their lives, people come in there for different reasons. They're celebrating different things. So I guess just even with the servers, they're in and out. So just meeting people, understanding how people, how they operate, in different settings. So I was able to learn how to deal with conflict very good.
Yeah, I bet it was definitely in the restaurant business.
Right, because most of the time it's the cook's fault. Sorry, cooks, but I knew how, knowing how to solve situations on the spot. I feel like I learned a lot from serving tables. Yeah.
And it's always, it's the cook's fault, but you're the front line. They see you.
Yeah, right. So I'm the one that's taking it. So yeah, and not wearing my, heart on my sleeve, not, getting my feelings involved because they won't be here forever. They 2-hour limit, they're out. So yeah.
Okay. Now, Zetria, walk us through a typical tenant rep deal. How do these, referrals, residential referrals turn into commission, and what's the biggest gap you see in commercial that resident agents typically miss?
So I get a call from an agent who's probably not competent in the area that I'm working in out here in North Texas. So they'll call and say, hey, they got a client that want to lease some space for hair salon. So making that first phone call to them, introducing myself, letting them know what my responsibilities is as a tenant rep, getting them to sign the representation agreement with me. And then from there, I get an idea of what it is that they're looking for. And then I'll go out and find a space. And from there, we'll start negotiating with the landlords about, the year, the terms, and the TI and all of that stuff. But I feel like one of the gaps is that people, if you're not working in that, I would say in that spectrum, then it's best to refer out and to lead somebody on, not knowing what you're doing, not getting them the best deal with the LOI. So just being educated, I feel like that's the gap. But you have to want to be educated, or you just referred, So
Now, do the agents who refer it out, do they want to learn?
sometimes no, because they're so busy on the residential side, they just rather get the referral fee and call it a day.
Okay.
And like
Okay.
so
I
for
like it.
my brokerage, we don't do any residential. So anytime somebody come and want me to, sell them a house or whatever, we don't do any residential. So it's good that I'm able to build those relationships with those agents and refer clients to them as well.
Okay. And is the referral your main source of leads?
It is. It is. But they're big referrals though, so they're good.
Okay. So you pretty much market to residential real estate
Yes.
agents.
And I'm part of the commercial committee, and some of the members that's in the committee, they're residential agents, but they're trying to like transition. So I get a chance to work with them. I have a couple mentees and build relationships in that way as well.
Okay. So now in the Dallas Fort Worth area commercial market right now, what's working for leads? I know you do. We talked about networking, referrals, and where are agents dropping the ball with that? As far as networking within the commercial real estate,
Where are they dropping the ball?
as far as, for example, some people don't like to network, or some people network
Yeah.
wrong, or what what
Yeah.
kind of
I think
advice can you give
yeah.
commercial agents as far as networking?
I think that when you do go out to a networking event, try to follow up with that person that you met at least within the next 72 hours, because they probably will forget about you or you'll forget about them. But just do a simple follow up email, ask, when can we go out for coffee or lunch or something like that, so that you can actually build that connection with them and not just meet them at the event and never talk to them again. Because more than likely, if you're networking, you're going to see them again. And you don't want it to be the awkward, oh, hey, I saw you the last time, but I never did reach out. So reach out to them, because they may just know somebody that needs your help and they forgot to call you, and will be very thankful if you were to reach out back to them. So yeah, just follow up. That's very important.
And do you have a follow-up system?
Well, so Texas realtors have templates that we're able to access and use them for situations like that. So it's already ready for you to go in and fill in the blanks and send those emails out.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you have a system as far as I'm gonna
Yeah, it's
follow
following up in
every
72 hours. Yes.
in 72 hours. And do you follow multiple times with them, or is it one?
No, just one time. I mean, within 72 hours, if they reach back out, that's great. If not, then I did my part.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, as far as the commercial real estate industry, what is one myth about breaking into that commercial space that you're crush for listeners? What is one advice that you'll give trying to people trying to break into the space?
It's not as difficult as people may think. And once you get into it and actually learn the business, it's not, nobody over here is like gatekeeping. You just have to know what it is that you're asking for and talk to the right people.
And talk to the right people. Yeah, because there are a lot of myths within the commercials, saying it's a dog eat. What's that term? Dog eat dog world.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, and that's in any industry for sure. I've had my first deal was very, but I still got paid. Person went behind my back. Yeah, somebody who I thought was like on my side, she, went behind my back, worked the deal without me, and I reached out to the owners who actually got the building, and I told them what happened, and they actually paid me a commission for that, because they knew what had happened. And they knew that I was the first one that was brokering a deal. So for her to go behind my back and talk to them and convince them to go with her. So that was my very first deal, but it ended up working out for the good.
Okay, good deal. Well, there are some good people in the commercial real estate.
Yeah, yes, it is. Like everybody's like, that's the only time that it has ever happened. But as long as you get that buyer's rep sign, you're pretty good. And I had that sign, so that's what saved me.
All right, good deal. And it works that happens in the residential.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, so
it's real estate or every industry. Yeah, it's just people in reality.
Well, they say dot all your I's and cross all your T's.
Yeah, that is true. Now, you did mention that you love serving underserved commercial community and showing anyone can do it.
Yes.
So, what is your why? What fires you about tenant rep?
Helping small business owners see that it is possible. I know people like to go out. And for me, when somebody comes to me and I see that they're like type A personality, they want to, be in charge. Okay, you go and find what it is that you're looking for. Let me help you work out the lease. Let me look over the lease for you. Let's go through this lease and make sure that you're getting everything that you well deserve. And everything that I know should be in there is in there. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I let people lead and I'm there to support. I'm still getting paid because the way it works in commercial is the landlord pays me and not the tenant. So I'm more of an advisor.
Okay. And so, as far as commercial, what's the time frame of someone learning the commercial industry as far as the tenant rep route?
I took a whole year. My first year in real estate, I didn't do any sales. I did not do any sales. I didn't want to do any sales. I just took time to learn. Took a bunch of classes. Like if you look up my license history, I have a lot of C behind me because I wanted to know exactly what it is that I was getting myself into. I wanted to use the right words when I get into a conversation with someone. So I had mentors, but I didn't want to go in just super fresh. I wanted to have some kind of knowledge behind me. So I would say read books. Self-education is the first thing that anybody should do if they're wanting to come into commercial real estate because it's a lot of learning. And you're going to always be learning as you go as well.
And what's one book or podcast or material would you say someone should definitely read?
I would say The Millionaire Real Estate Agent.
Okay.
I think that book is really good. I loved it. I read it twice, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Good deal. Now, a quick period. Now, as a commercial agent, the buzzword is AI. Now, what do you see AI fitting into lead generation, follow-up, marketing intel?
So with AI, of course, I use it more so for lease abstracting because it just helps break it down really quick. And then I use AI to send out emails, follow-ups, with my clients. I schedule them. So I'm not responsible for doing it manually and likely forgetting. So I use AI in that realm with CRM. I go in and update the status of my clients, where we are in the deal. But as far as like workflow, I don't use it in my workflow. I don't.
Okay.
Yeah, not the LOI. I have to do that myself.
Okay.
Yeah, we work that out, me and the tenant. So I can't really use AI for that because that's a collaboration piece that we have to do together.
Okay. And you don't use it do you use what, ChatGPT, Claude, or what do you normally?
Notebook LM for lease abstracting. Yeah.
And then, so what I like to do at the very end is do a fun 6-question fire round. And I know you're in the Dallas market.
Yeah.
All right. So first question is, what's one mistake you see business owners make when choosing space?
So they think that they can be anywhere they want to be. They forget about the zoning and they forget about the exclusivity with the other tenants in it. Like, for example, shopping plaza, they may already be a sports clip in there, but they want to put their hair salon in there. Well, the landlord has an exclusivity with the sports clip. So just because they may have an open vacancy in that shopping plaza don't mean that they can be there. The space is right, but the other reasons is why they can't be there. So it can only be one hair placed there. So yeah.
Okay. Now, what's one app or tool you use almost every day?
Perplexity every day, and I would say WhatsApp. Oh my gosh, WhatsApp.
Really?
Yeah, every single day, all day.
Okay. And what's the reason for WhatsApp? Is it because people from
a lot of my clients are on there? A lot. I work heavily with the African community, so for some reason they love the WhatsApp. So
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what's one commercial real estate skill every new agent should master fast?
AI. How to use AI.
All right. Now, if you could automate one thing in your business tomorrow, what would it be?
Sending emails.
Sending emails.
Yeah.
But you have that automated, right?
I do. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I thought you meant for somebody else what they need to do, but
no, for you. Yeah.
For
if
me,
you could automate.
I would say callbacks. I need like a robo or something to make phone calls.
AI agent or something like that.
AI agent, yeah. Yeah, to make phone calls because to reach out to like FISBOs for sale by owners. So yeah.
Okay. Now, what's one piece of advice you'd give someone afraid to transition careers?
What's one advice I would give somebody afraid to transition? I would say get a mentor. It makes it easier to transition. Get a mentor. Reach out to somebody that's already in the industry and ask them questions, and yeah, let them guide you.
All right. Now, five years from now, what do you want people to say about Zetria?
I was able to help them to break through and become successful in the industry. I led them. I got them out of their comfort zone and led them into what they thought was impossible to the possible.
So you have a helpful spirit.
Most
So,
definitely. Most definitely. Yeah.
now, I know you're in the Dallas area. What is your favorite? Someone's coming to visit here. What is your what restaurant would you
J.
recommend them to go
Alexander.
to?
J. Alexander.
J. Alexander's.
Yes.
Okay. And what type of food is it? Let the people
It's
know.
a mix. It's a mix. You never been? It's a mix.
I never been.
Classy. It's real. Like it's nice. They got everything. Salmon, burgers, fish. Yeah. So it's American.
Okay. Well, what
It's
area?
really nice. It's in Plano.
Okay, in Plano. Okay.
It's new. It's new here. It was only in Tennessee and Memphis at first, but then they're there in San Antonio and different places in Texas, and it's awesome.
Okay. All right. I'm in all the
It kind of reminds me of Papados, but like a little bit more. I don't know. Yeah, a little bit more classier, I would say.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna have to make a trip out to Plano. I gotta plan that. Plan that drive out there. Now, I definitely enjoyed the conversation, and we talked about how to get into commercial real estate, the transaction as far as the tenant rep. You being a helpful spirit. Talked a little bit about the AI automations a little bit. If someone needs to reach out or wants to reach out to you, how can I find you?
www.ascend.com, our website. I'm on there. You can actually book time with me on there if you needed to, and email me from there as well. My phone number is there, so on our website. I said on our website.
Okay, and I'll definitely add that information in the notes. Now, for everyone who's looking for commercial space, tenant representation, retail opportunities, or just want to connect with someone in the Dallas market, definitely connect with Zetria Okudjeto. And if you enjoyed this episode, make sure you subscribe to the Truvix podcast on YouTube and all platforms available. Appreciate everyone for watching, and we'll see you on the next episode.
Thank you.
Thank you, Zetria.
You're so welcome.
All right, I'll talk to you next week. Okay. All right, thanks.